Oh, hey guys, I'm Dave, and I'm here today with an experiment on how to dye Delrin. First off, I need to thank Jeff Anderson. He's the guy who got me this really cool yo-yo and inspired me to try to dye it. But because this is an experiment today, I'm not going to be dyeing this one. What I'm going to be dyeing today is this right here. This is a spin top that I turned on my lathe. Again, it's Delrin, and you have to use a special type of dye for it. Rit Dye More for synthetics. These are the two colors I have selected, and my plan is, if I do this right, is to have red towards the tip and fade into yellow at the top, obviously with an orange kind of in the middle. We'll see how that turns out. And I'm not going to go with just a straight dye. I thought I'd like to have a mask, use a little bit of glue. I'm going to try to put it on a sponge, go all over it, and that will hopefully give kind of the look of the fade of color, but also kind of the cool white undertones of the Delrin underneath it. We don't know how it's going to turn out, but that's part of the fun of making this video. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Okay, the first step is to take the product you're dyeing and put the mask on it. I'm going to put glue onto the sponge and put it all over the top, kind of uniformly, I guess, if that's even possible. The glue that I'm using is a tacky glue right here. I'm just going to put splotches all around. It'll be different thicknesses and different spots, which will cause it, of course, to look slightly different. Looks like the glue uses up pretty fast, so I'm going to put a little more on there. Maybe I'll put a little bit just straight on this, too. There we go. That way I don't have to worry about it being on the sponge everywhere. All right. Not super uniform, a little thicker in some places, thinner in other places. I think that's going to be right. We'll see. Now to let it dry. Okay, while the masking agent is drying on the top, I'm going to get the dye ready. What I have done here is I put enough water in this to cover about 3/4 of the top. Because I'm doing a fade, I'm going to put it 3/4 of the way in. One note I was taught by Jeff is to not let the top or yo-yo touch the actual metal, because this is going to be boiling hot. It could deform or warp the Delrin, so then you got a really bad vibe. So I'm going to have to hold on to the tip of the top as I put it in. And because I want the crown to be yellow, I'm going to start with yellow dye. I got the water in here. I'm going to add the dye and then get it to just barely boiling. All right, I got all the dye here and I'm getting it mixed up, being careful not to spill. Looks like kind of a brown color, but they say it's yellow. Let's hope it turns out nice. While I'm waiting for this to boil, the tacky glue is setting up. I have figured out the way that I'm going to try to hold the top. I got this really thick rubber glove that I think will withstand the heat. I'll grab onto the top like this and dip it in for the fade. And again, with this one, I'm going to plan to go to about a little over half, maybe close to 3/4. And then when I flip it over the other way and dip it in to the red, when I do this later, the red and yellow will combine and hopefully make a fantastic orange in between the fade. And like I was saying, it's important to get the water to just before boiling, 200 degrees. And I got my thermometer here and I'm just a bit over. So I'm going to let it cool, drop it a little bit, let it cool a little bit to get to right around 200 degrees. I'm sure this is fine. I'm going to stir it up and get started here in a couple seconds. Okay, experimentation time. When I was talking to Jeff, he said about 3 minutes on yellow was good, so I'm just going to go with his recommendation. So I got a timer set for 3 minutes. I could also pop it up and out and kind of look at it to see how the color's shaping up, but we might as well do that. So it's going to be about 3 minutes. Got my glove ready. I think the glue is dry enough. I'm sure some of it will just wash away. That'll add to the fun effect. Let's go for it. You can see some of the masking is melted off, the glue's got off of it. A lot of it's still there though. Looking good, still got about 30 seconds if I want to do 3 full minutes. Ooh, hope that cleans up. Now the other thing I was told is as soon as you're done with it in the dye, put it in cold water. So I got a bucket here to put it right away into. All right, looks good. There we go, out and into the water. All right, I'm gonna see how the dye took. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna wash all the mask off. I'll have to redo it for the red part, but I wanna see how that worked. See if it did any masking or if it didn't. All right, I'm wiping the masking agent off, and it's not a lot of yellow stayed on this top. You know, you can see it kind of gave it a little tint, but it's not what I was thinking it would be. I was thinking it would be a much darker tint on there. Not really happy with that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it again, maybe without the masking agent this time. See how that works. Yeah, it seems like where I had no masking agent at all, it stayed pretty yellow. It's just where any of the glue was, it didn't take at all. So maybe I used a little too much glue. Okay, a little bit more yellow there. Okay, time to get started on the red. Okay, and since my experiment, the masking agent didn't really work as well on the yellow as I was hoping, I'm not going to do it for the red. I'm just going to switch from being a fade with a mask to just being a fade. The yellow ended up taking pretty darn good after I got that glue off. I'm guessing I just probably put too much glue on it because it masked too much. Maybe further experiments will be in order to figure that out. But now I'm going to tip in, get up to this will all be red, and then I'm going to go, I don't know, maybe to there. We'll see how far I can go in with the tip, and just going to experiment to see how I can get that fade to look. All right, we're coming up close to 200, getting ready to start. Got my glove on. This really worked well because it's super thick rubber, so I don't feel the heat at all, and I got pretty good control. Last time I could hold the tip. This time I obviously have to hold the crown. I'll figure that out here just to make sure I can get a good hold of it. Looks like we're at 200. This time I'm not going for time, I'm going for look. Pulling it up slightly along the way to kind of get that fade to see if it works that way. I'm going to cold water it, see what it looks. A little bit more, I think. Oh well. Looks like it's got kind of a fade going on, but not what I was hoping for. It has more of a distinct line. I was thinking I'd get more of a gradual flow. And I don't know, I don't like it like that. I'm doing the whole thing red now. That's what experiments are for, right? Figuring out what you like, learning from them. If you guys are experts at dyeing or know much about it, please comments below about what I can do, how to make this more of what I was going for. All right, I'm gonna let that cool. We'll see how it turns out. All right, I'm gonna pull it out of the cold water bath and see how this experiment turned out. All right, well, it's a little weird. It didn't take the dye equally throughout. It's a little splotchy in certain spots. Maybe that's a product of the masking earlier that didn't get wiped off well. The Delrin itself wasn't new. This is an older top that I had made. Maybe scratches in the Delrin there caused it to take the finish in differently, the dye. I suppose it kind of looks like, you kind of see marks that are kind of like from hitting the ground in a couple spots. So it very well could have been that. Well, I don't know. Wasn't what I was looking for. It's interesting to have something that's not just white. It's nice fun about this, but I feel like I've got some more practice to do to get a good even dye finish, or to get that fade like I wanted. You can kind of see it faded a little bit, but not really what I was going for, obviously, towards the end there. Again, thanks for watching. You have ideas or suggestions, put them in the comments below. I guess the real key, though, is seeing how it looks when it spins. Let's take a look. Looks pretty cool that way. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.